Hello and welcome to Power Flow Yoga. My name is Paul Selvey, founder of powerflowyoga.co.uk. Before you start, if you can, grab a block or a cushion. It could help with some of the poses. Please use a yoga mat and make sure the space around you is safe. You don't need to go beyond your maximum. Always take the option that suits you today and never feel pain. Feel free to grab a blanket or socks or a hoodie ready for Savasana. Sitting cross-legged or kneeling, place a block or a cushion under your hips. Tall spine, heavy shoulders, leaning backwards slightly to find the balance of your head and shoulders over the hips. Coming inside the body with your attention. Slowing down and deepening the breath. Exhale fully. Breathing through the nose. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying with this breath, the biggest inhale, the biggest exhale. Ujjayi breath, that squeeze of the throat. If you can, squeeze the belly, lift the pelvic floor. Stay inside your body with your attention for the whole class. Stick with this breath. And as your next inhale, let's raise your arms and sway the arms from side to side. So lift your chest, pull those hands back and sway in the arms. Any speed that suits you. If you can, exhale as you go to one side and inhale as you come up. So swaying from side to side, twisting your chest to face the ceiling, lengthening your arms. And just moving with your breath. Let the breath lead your movement. Using all the power of the mind to stay concentrated with this breath, to control the breath. Every time the breath goes back to natural, you can bet you're thinking. So staying concentrated, flexing the spine and warming up the shoulders. And then taking the bottom hand to the floor, we're going to reach that top arm as far as you can. Take your elbow to the floor if you can. If you can't, don't worry. Twist your chest to face the ceiling. Reach with that top arm as far as you can. As you twist your chest, squeeze your belly, push the opposite knee down to the floor. And inhale, coming up. Taking the other hand to the floor. Maybe the elbow. Stretch that top arm. Twist the chest to face the ceiling. Pushing the opposite knee to the floor. And feel that stretch through the side, the power of the shoulder, the squeeze of the belly. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Taking the hands down to the floor. Coming to all fours. So knees under your hips, hands under the shoulders. And shoulder cat-cows here, pushing the back of the neck up to the ceiling, lengthen your arms, squeeze your fingertips, push with the base of the thumb. Keep your arms like sticks and then take your chest towards the floor, squeeze your shoulder blades. Don't worry about the hips. So exhale, the back goes upwards, and inhale, the chest comes down towards the floor. So again, moving with the breath. Find this maximum movement of your torso through your shoulders here. Arms as straight as you can. And coming back to center, curl over the toes and lift up the hips into a downward dog to paddle your feet. So feet are hip distance apart, pushing one heel to the floor. If your heel touches the floor, walk the feet back a little bit. So we're trying to find a stretch in your calves and your hamstring. As you squeeze your chest towards the bent knee towards your chest. And stretch out the back of the legs. feel the push at the base of the thumbs and the power in the shoulders here. So warming up the shoulders, the belly, as you stretch out the back of the legs. Again, let the breath lead this motion if you can. And if you prefer, just hang out on one leg for a breath or two. Just keeping it even from side to side. Coming back to center and raise your right leg up. Exhale, lunge the right foot top of the mat, breathing into your high lunge. Exhale, warrior two, right side. Inhale, lift the front right hand, reverse. Exhale, both hands come down, right foot steps back, chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing dog. Raise the left leg. Exhale, lunge, left foot top of the mat, breathing into your high lunge. Warrior two, left side. Inhale, reverse. And chaturanga, both hands come down, left foot steps back. Upward dog. Downward dog, holding when you're there. So squeezing those armpits to face, trying to get the base of the thumbs, pushing into the floor, claw of the fingertips. Squeeze of the belly, lift of the pelvic floor. Pushing the heels to the floor, lifting the hips to the ceiling, and squeezing your chest towards the thighs. And as you exhale, bend your knees. Step or jump, top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rolling up the spine, back bend. Exhale, folding forwards. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Raise the right leg. Exhale, lunge. High lunge. Warrior two. Reverse. And exhale, chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Raise the left leg. Exhale, lunge. Inhale. Warrior two. Reverse. Chaturanga. Upward dog. And holding your downward dog for the last time. So stay inside the body, chin all the way to the collarbone if you can. And feel the power of the body, the power of the mind, the power of that concentration of the mind. The heat building inside the body. And exhale, bend your knees, step or jump, top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rolling up the spine, back bend. Exhale, fold, halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward facing dog. Raise your right leg and lunge the right foot outside your right hand. We're going to get the left foot behind your left hand and raise your right arm all the way up. Look to the ceiling, pulling your right shoulder behind the left and trying to get the wrists in line with each other. Imagine a broomstick here running from your right wrist all the way down to that left wrist. You can keep your left knee on the floor if you wish, but if you can, we're trying to straighten that left leg. Reaching those right fingertips to the ceiling here. Keep breathing through the nose. And we're going to come up to a twisted warrior two. So looking at that right hand, coming up to your twisted warrior two here. Right knee trying to be above your ankles. Left leg is straight. And trying to get your arms just the same. That big long line running along the length of the mat. Horizontal to the floor here. If you can. Breathing through the nose, that squeeze of the throat. Really trying to pull that right shoulder behind you. Left elbow to right knee, right arm reaching up and forwards into your twisted side angle pose, all on the right shoulder here. Hopefully this right shoulder is starting to heat up, starting to burn even. Twisting the chest towards the ceiling. It's never going to get there, but we're trying. Looking at the right bicep with the face, looking in the direction of your right fingers with your eyes. And on your next exhale, chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Raise the left leg. Left foot outside your left hand. Wiggle that right foot behind the right hand and raise the left arm up. Trying to find that long line. Wrist to wrist through the shoulders. And if you can, straight right leg, push the right heel to the back of the run. Your head towards the front of the run. Stretching, getting longer and longer. Literally trying to touch the ceiling with the left fingertips. Feel the work in your shoulders as you try to stretch vertically with those fingers. Looking at your left hand, coming up to your twisted warrior two. So right hand is forwards, left hand is back. Left knee above your ankles, right leg as straight as you can, and spine as vertical as you can. End goal, we're trying to get those arms in line with the length of the mat. There's no failure. If that's difficult, then just accept where you're at today and do the best. Do what feels good inside your body. That feeling of doing good is better than beating yourself up for not quite getting there. Feel your left shoulder. Hopefully that's starting to get hot. Right elbow, left knee, left arm, side angle pose, twisted. Straightening the right leg if you can. Remember, you can take that knee to the floor if you wish. Twisting your chest to the ceiling, face facing the left bicep, eyes looking up in the direction of your left fingertips. And as you exhale, both hands come down, step back, chaturanga. Upward dog. And downward facing dog. So back to your high plank. Chaturangas. So come into your chaturanga on your exhale. Inhaling to your upward dog. Downward dog. 3 more if you can. Don't be afraid to use your knees if you need to. It's totally fine. All we're after is super hot shoulders. We don't want pain. And last one. Bend your knees, step or jump, top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rolling up the spine. Into your back bend, let's hang out here. So bend the knees, push the hips forwards, pull those hands back and stretch your armpits. Stretch your belly, stretch the front of the hips, squeeze your glutes. A bend of the knees is going to get you deeper, if that's what you want. And we're just trying to find the place where you're shaking a little bit, if you can. Find that tremble, but keep the breath through the nose. We're going to come back up to standing, get the palms to squeeze together above the head, and then take the hands to the heart center. We're going to sit down into your chair. So keep those knees squeezing, a little gap at the heels, pull the knees back, And then we're going to twist to the right and take the left elbow outside the right knee. Pull your hips to the right, trying to level your knees to the toes. So trying to feel that levelness. Just turn the head to look at the knees. Make sure that left knee's not poking forwards. Push the right hand into the left, trying to get the thumbs to the heart center. Pulling that right shoulder behind you. Pulling the hips the way you're facing. Keeping those hips behind the knees. It's going to get the spine in line. Nice long spine. So we're twisting when the back is straight. If you want more, you could take the left hand to the floor, maybe, and maybe take that right arm up to the ceiling. See how you go. You don't have to do this version. If you want to stay in your prayer, stay in your prayer. Keep those hips pushing to the right if you're in either version. And coming back to your prayer. Squeeze the hands together, slowly unwind, lift those hands. And without locking the thumbs or the fingers, lift your heels and try and get your fingertips to touch the ceiling. Feel those calves working hard here, pulling the shoulders all the way up to the ears. Looking at something that isn't moving is going to keep this balance a little bit easier. And releasing the heels, take the hands to the heart center, sit back down into your chair, squeeze the knees together, make sure there's a gap at the heels. Twist to the left, right elbow outside the left knee. Pulling those hips until your knees line up. So we want that right knee pulling back to be level with the left. Push the left hand into the right. Push that right elbow into the left knee. Pushing that left shoulder behind you. Look into the ceiling with the face, but keeping the neck in line with the spine. So no nasty sensations in your neck. Very important if you're twisting your neck here, that your neck is straight with the spine. Keep that breath through the nose. And squeeze the hands together, slowly unwind, lift those hands up. Lock your thumbs together, find your back bend deep as you can. And as you exhale, we're going to swing those hands down and back past your hips, interlace the fingers, straighten your legs. Lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades. Keep this back bend feeling as you fold forwards. Straighten the legs if it feels good, pulling the arms away from the back if it feels good. Again, all we want is a stretch of your pecs, the top of your chest, and a squeeze of the shoulder blades. Bonus here is your hamstrings. If you want straight legs, that's great. Keeping that back bend feeling is going to keep that lower back nice and safe. And release the hands, coming up into a chair pose. Lift those fingers towards the top of the wall in front of you. Squat down with the hips, pull the knees back above your ankles and lift the toes if that feels good. Scooping the belly button in, trying to get the belly button to touch the spine. Keep those arms in line with the spine, so lifting those hands up behind you all the time. And as you exhale, fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees, let's take the feet forwards, not quite to the top of the mat, and then place your hands. So we're going to claw with the fingertips, and we want the hands about 1 or 2 hand lengths, maybe 3 in front of the toes. And we're going to come into crow if that suits you. So claw with the fingertips, lift the hips as high as you can, get the knees to your elbows, triceps or armpits, and slowly lean forwards. Don't jump, don't hop. Once the toes are light, we're lifting those feet off the floor and finding your crow maybe. Stay concentrated. Keep trying. If you're falling, if you're not there, just keep trying. Don't jump, don't hop, and you won't face plant. Find the balance before those toes come off the floor. If you want to, fly back. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Once you're in downward dog, let's bend those knees, taking the feet forwards and lift the chest halfway. Exhale, fold, rolling up the spine into your back bend. Exhale, fold, halfway lift, chaturanga. And we're going to hold your upward dog here. So get the arms long. We're going to get tops of the feet onto the floor. You can put the knees on the floor if that helps. Squeeze the heels together, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your shoulder blades. And pushing your chest through your upper arms. Lengthening your arms, pulling the top of the head to the ceiling. Big squeeze of the glutes and the lower back here. And releasing those knees down to the floor. Shoulder cat-cows here. So get the knees underneath your hips, pushing the back of your neck, the middle of the shoulder blades up to the ceiling on your exhale. Keep the arms long. And as you inhale, the chest comes down between those arms, between those straight arms. Exhale, the back of the neck up to the ceiling. Inhale, the front of the neck towards the floor without nodding the head here. Just trying to move your torso, your chest. And coming back to center, we're going to take those toes to almost touch the back of the mat, maybe off the back of the mat if you're tall, and then take your elbows down to the floor. Keep your hips over your knees, so don't let those hips come forwards. Wiggle your arms forwards and come into your puppy dog pose. So trying to keep those elbows about the width of your shoulders and find that place where your whole body just hangs between the shoulders here. If you've got bone-to-bone compression in the tops of your shoulders, this isn't for you. Mostly hypermobile people will feel that. If you're not hypermobile, then you're likely just to get a stretch in your armpits, your triceps, the sides of the body, the underside of the shoulders. Long, slow, deep breaths. Hanging, falling down towards the floor, getting deeper and deeper. And slowly rocking from side to side, rocking those shoulders forward so you get some weight back into the elbows. Take the palms to the floor. Maybe walk those knees forwards. Some more shoulder cat-cows here, so get those arms long. Pushing the back of the neck to the ceiling on your exhale. Taking the neck or the chest between those straight arms on your inhale. And curling over the toes, lifting up the hips, downward dog. Bend your knees. Let's take those feet forwards and lift the chest halfway. Exhale, fold. Rolling up the spine, back bend. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Sitting down behind your feet and rolling down onto your back into a bridge pose here. So pulling the heels towards your hips and rolling up the back. Grabbing your ankles or interlacing the fingers under the back. Walk the shoulders closer and closer. Power the forearms into the floor. Pushing your chest to the wall behind you, lifting your hips as high as you can. Squeeze everything in the back. And if you're interlaced, especially pushing those forearms into the floor to squeeze your triceps and your shoulders and your shoulder blades. So you're also going to get into the glutes, the thighs, and you're going to stretch all the way through the front. So, but full attention to your shoulders in this version. Going to come on to the toes. Make sure you still got your balance. And then maybe you don't have to raise the right leg. So either your third bridge or a bridge or a wheel with leg lifts here. Or like me, maybe you did one wheel, one bridge. Keep breathing. Keep getting those right toes or whatever raised leg is raised, those toes to the ceiling. Use the forearms into the floor. Swapping the legs. If you're raising, we're raising the other leg. Trying to touch the ceiling. Use the power of those forearms in the floor in your bridge. Looking to the floor in between the hands in your wheel. Feel the balance. Focus on the breath. And releasing the left foot down. Release the hands. Roll the spine down onto the floor. Take the arms out wide and rock your knees from side to side. Inhale up and exhale down. And coming back to center, grab the back of the knees. If you want a fly through or another vinyasa, if you don't, just stay here. Cross one foot over the other and flying those legs back into a chaturanga if that feels good for you. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale. Bend your knees and take your feet forwards. Lift the chest halfway. Exhale, fold. Rolling up the spine, back bend. Exhale, fold. And when you're ready, making your way into Savasana. So feet to the corners of the mat. Lengthen the head towards the back of the room. Lengthen the fingers to the front of the room. Squeeze the shoulder blades. So lift the chest off the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And release. Your choice, open or closed eyes, whatever works for you. Feel the weight of the body on the floor. And coming into your body with the attention. Feeling your natural breath. Feeling the temperature of the body. Feeling the weight of the body on the floor. Being aware of your digestive system. Trying to find your beating heart. Feeling, connecting with any emotions. And just being aware of the mind, so detachment from the mind. Just watch the mind with amusement for the next couple of minutes as you release into your meditation. And wiggling the fingers and the toes. Turning the head to one side, giving your neck a nice big squeeze. Turning the head the other way, squeezing your neck the other way. Taking the head back to center. Pulling the hands above the head, pulling the feet together, big stretch, big inhale or yawn. You could stay in your stretch. You could hug your knees into the chest, whatever feels good for your waking body. And keeping your eyes as closed as you can, making your way to your meditation posture. Taking the hands to the heart center, push the palms together, spread the fingers, Namaskara Mudra, thumbs resting on the chest bone. Namaste.